Well, I guess there's three elements to what's being done. One is to make sure that our blue-collar workers and local boroughs are responsible for pothole maintenance, and I think that hasn't stopped. Second was the snow that had to be plowed, and so the blue-collar workers were deployed there. But after that, they came back full swing and were beginning to do as much of the potholes as they can. And the last thing is to make sure that above and beyond potholes, that our roads are well maintained. And what we're trying to do is seeing what we can shake loose within the existing budget.
So that's Alan D'Souza. He is now, beyond being the mayor of the borough of Saint Laurent, he's also the city's point person on roads. He's glad he took on this job, and potholes and everything else, and he's now having to deal with this, much of it, apparently, from what he told us in the interview earlier in the afternoon. Had to do with the last administration, stuff that wasn't sort of followed up on. Now they also have some stuff out of service, a contract that was just apparently not renewed because it didn't meet the specifications. I think what he said was the company there were two bids, and the companies would have had to go ahead and fix potholes below -5 degrees Celsius, and that was not apparently something they said they could meet. So it's all a bit odd, but that's where we find ourselves today, still dealing with potholes. And as I said, earlier in the show, places, if you go to the same way to work and that pothole has been there for a week or two, that's the part that I don't understand. You think once it was reported, it might take a couple of days, but it would get fixed. Not the case everywhere, and not even the case for Montreal's own mayor. Soraya Martinez Ferreira last night got not one, but two flat tires on the drive home and posted about it on social media.
Deux pneus, deux flats. Deux flats. Bon, là, je suis avec le gars de la remorqueuse. Dis bonjour. Allô?
Et par de l'épaule, elle a tombé de l'épaule.
Alors, deux nids de poules sur la rue Notre-Dame. On s'en vient avec des solutions, mais entre-temps, on se fait remorquer. Puis, je sais que les rues, ça n'a pas de bon sens.
Yeah. Deux pneus, deux flats. Going to have to pay for her own. By the way, it's not a city card, not that it matters, but I'm just saying, I know some people say, yeah, well, Alicia doesn't have to pay for it. Yeah, she does. This is her own car. So the story at the end of the day is it's happening all the time. I'm sure if it hasn't happened to you, you know someone it has happened to. We thought we'd try to help, if there's any way to, by talking to someone who's dealing with this pretty much on an everyday basis. Jennifer Powers is a tire specialist and manager at Gordon's Tires up on Cavendish and St. Jacques up there. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Do you get to go home at all, or are you in there like 24/7 these days?
I've been in there a lot. I've been there a lot, and it's nonstop potholes. Customers with blown out tires, cracked rims, need to verify the suspension. Like, it's consistent on a daily basis.
So I don't know if you can provide any tips. Obviously, you can avoid a pothole. But when it first happens, if you do end up going over one, you think you may just have a blown tire. What are you seeing more often than not, or is that the extent of it?
I mean, it's a difficult situation when the person's on the road. They're not fully aware. They might not know that area, and they just plow through it. So it's like sometimes you can't stop. There's people behind you that are beeping at you. Like, so it's an overwhelming circumstance. The person is like, oh my God, what's happened? And then they pull over. Either they have a flat, the cracked rim, and we're talking sometimes blowouts is the tire is actually off.
Wow.
The part of the tire.
Yeah.
So it's pretty bad.
So, and now if you go over one of these, like you said, depending on where you are, you can't always stop right away, depending if you're in traffic or not. So is the idea, though, that the longer you go, if you blow a tire, you're basically going to end up needing a rim because you're basically driving on your rim if you're not driving on your tire.
Yes, exactly. Like, some people have run flat tires, so that allows them to at least to get to the shoulder or to find some place to turn off. But unfortunately, circumstances, if you are in traffic or on the highway, you can't pull over. Yeah. They do have to continue driving on that tire and will probably damage the rim and a little bit more, whether it's suspension, tie rod, control arms. So, yeah,
okay.
It becomes costly.
I wonder, too, it seemed to me back in the day, everyone had spares, like real spare tires, right? Basically the same as the first four on your car. And that's not the case anymore. Those tires, if you go ahead and change just a single tire, can they if it's a run flat, how long are they good for?
I mean, a run flat basically is to get you from point A to point B. So it's not a long-term, it's not a lot of times it's not a fixable tire. So it gets you to A to B, but when you run on it, and the longer you run on it, it damages the interior of the tire, which becomes like a powder. So once that becomes like that, unfortunately, you have to get a new tire.
So don't leave it on. Get to where you have to go. Get to the garage, because that's not a solution for you as a new tire.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what's the average repair now? If you're doing a tire, and you have to buy a new tire and it's a winter tire, you can just get one tire to match what you have on your car. How many people are actually saying, you know what, go ahead and change them all? Do you ever have that happen?
Oh, some, depending on the tread depth of the other tires, but basically if it can't be 4, at least to have 2 and 2 of a different brand on the same axle. So most of the time, a lot of people do opt for that 2 tire.
Oh, okay.
And then have the rim fixed. So you can get the rim fixed. We send it out to another place, and they repair the mag, and it saves you at least from buying, a new mag.
So the mags can be repaired?
Some, yes, depending if it's a bend or if it's a crack, depending on the length of the crack, yes, they can be repaired.
I see. Okay. Well, it's potentially some good news there. Otherwise, you're seeing just cars being towed in on a pretty regular basis?
Yeah. Like right now is our quiet season, so our schedule is not as full as it normally is. So,
well, hold on. What do you mean your schedule is not as busy? There's 100 people every day running over potholes.
Well, I would say, but in reality, we get anywhere between maybe 10 to 20 customers a day, just for a flat tire.
Okay, now this is prime time because we're talking about this every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's horrible. I've been there for 10 years, and this has got to be like the worst I've ever seen.
4,400 calls, is that it? About 4,100, 4,200 calls just in the month of January to the city's 311 to report a pothole.
Yeah, I believe
crazy.
it.
That's a record, by the way. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Never seen this many. We had almost this. We had 3,000 and change back in 2024, but never this kind of January. First time ever we've heard that many calls. But then again, maybe part of that is, now you can call them in. Now there's a mobile app. You can report it there as well. So maybe when there's more, avenues to which to report them, more people are actually using them and reporting them. Maybe that's why.
Okay.
You got any tips for people out there? What's the big tip?
They just got to be more alert of the road that they're taking, not be distracted and pay attention, unfortunately, to where they're driving. Pay attention and keep distance and just, it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, just to take your time and know your routes, try and take the same route so you know exactly where the potholes are. And unfortunately, cars are built to sustain that type of, impact. But if it's a daily recurrence, like if it happens every day, unfortunately, it's going to end up causing damage.
Okay. And then you're just when you're calling for a tow, if you're on a highway, right? Eventually someone will stop. Otherwise, you're just calling for a tow, I guess, right? Calling Gordon or somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, depending on a person, their health, they're not going to be on the side of the road, putting on a spare tire, right? So, yes.
Okay.
So I'm sure they're very busy as well.
Jennifer, I thank you for the time. Wish you luck. Try to get some sleep and take good care.
Okay, you too.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
All right, Jennifer Powers over at Gordon's. Gordon's out on the Cavendish and Saint Jacques. That kind of crazy busy.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.